Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I am your local art witch, and today we are going to be reviewing this journal I got from the Magic of I. Before we begin, though, some housekeeping items. My voice is still a little off. I am recovering from laryngitis, so I'm going to do my best to not sound absolutely horrendous. Secondly, I am not sponsored by Magic of I, but I have gotten their journals before. And I just wanted to do an opening with you all. This is the package that it came in the mail. So let's open it. Oh no, I ripped it. I was going to try not to. Ew. Well, this keeps it safe, but it's like linked. Oh, nice. Okay, so here's the little bag. My last journal came in a bag like this too. My recommendation is if you get one of these journals to keep putting it back in the bag, and I'll show you why. Ooh. Ooh, what is this? It's a lined notebook. I don't remember ordering this. Here's a thank you card. I really like this company. So this beautiful thank you card has more information about it. Take a photo, 1% for the planet. And what's really cool is it has this handy guide for the moon phases of the year. Look, gorgeous. Ooh, a nice sticker. I should have gotten a pair of scissors before doing this. I am so glad that I set this up on the floor because of all the lint. 1 second, I need scissors. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I have been having the struggles. Can't seem to keep track of anything. So let's open this. There we go. Ooh, pretty. So a very simple lined notebook. Look at the cover art. Expanding through webs of interconnection. I can definitely put some kind of notes in here. Now, what we came for. Now, at the beginning, I recommended to keep your journal in a bag. And that is because, oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? These will kind of fade. I kept mine just like in my bag last year. And it started coming apart, and that made me sad. If you are into astrology or learning about astrology, this is quite the book. It has a lot of information. Oh my goodness, gorgeous. We have a band to keep it closed. So here's the 2024 journal. Let's scoot in a little bit. So pretty. So we've got who it belongs to, your sun, moon, and rising signs. How to use. There is some really intense instructions in this book. And you can put in your own chart here. How to use the moon signs and the elements, working with the moon monthly, using the calendar. Aspectarian is a record of the dynamic movement of the planets in the sky and their relationships with each other. optimum times. Okay, so this was included on last year's journal. And I will show you that. So here we have some calendars, general dates, time zones, a very nice astrological reference guide, which includes aspects, signs, planets, houses, moon planting guide. You'll see these in farmers' almanacs and stuff. It will kind of give you a hint as to auspicious times to be planting. And then we have this here, like how the moon goes through its phases, and these little sections here, decrease, pull, and like what it does, what it means. So astrology and tarot work quite closely to each other, and you can use this tarot wheel to see what cards lay where, like what their association would be with certain signs. Planetary days and hours, correspondences, the astrological symbols and where it relates to us on our body. More moon phases. It discusses here the planetary movements and the retrogrades. So in astrology, we look at it a little differently than we would, looking into space. A planet does not go backward. It only goes in one direction. But the way we want to look at astrology is how it appears to be from our position on Earth. So Mercury, for example, most of us have heard of a Mercury retrograde. It tends to do it three-ish times a year. And we can see the planetary paths here. Moon and phases. Behave yourself. There, that's better. Now, what's really cool about this journal, if you are a person who has a cycle, it shows us the 4 phases and the menstrual cycle. Now, not all of us cycle in tandem with the moon, but it's supposed to be the same amount of days as a moon, like a complete moon cycle. And so you can kind of see how the moon behaves. And it gave me a bit of a different perspective on the cycle, not just that cycle, but cycles of life and stuff. It was really neat. So we have these different phases. So dynamic, expressive, and creative. And if you chart it, you could, in theory, plan to be creative at specific times. So instead of working against our monthly highs and lows, try to shift things so that way you get better work done in these phases, and then you're not struggle bussing during your time of like not being able to do much. So this has reflective phase, and for me, I am guessing that my reflective phase is just as I'm beginning, as the aunt arrives. And so this phase for me tends to be really quiet. So really neat stuff. And here we can track when we're cycling, and then it will show you automatically. Like, let's say we started to bleed February 2nd, we would see that the moon is waning and it is in Scorpio when we begin, and then we would kind of fill it in and sort of see what's happening and if these moon phases make a difference for us. It gives us a lot of information about fungi. Very, very neat. And I love the art. Like, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? There's just really something captivating about the line art. Here's all of our mushrooms. our aspects. So that's when planets are making certain relations on the astrological wheel. So if these two are basically, actually these two are pretty opposite of each other, so that would be an opposition. So it's when these planets are angling at specific degrees, and it makes these different relationships between these planets, how they interact with each other, and the ease or difficulty of that relationship when it is happening. So for example, January 1st, we are having a square between Venus and Saturn, and that can be a little bit of a difficult aspect. Oh, goodness. Okay, so our new and full moon dates, the eclipses, retrograde, and so retrograde is when the planet is appearing to go backwards in the sky, and direct is when it will first freeze kind of in the sky and then start moving forward. So we call that stationing direct. Look at this. I love their art. Starting our intentions, our dreams, ponderings of the year, and then it breaks it down for us. So it has these 8 areas: spiritual, mental, work, that type of stuff. And then here you can list them more and then make actionable steps. So it breaks it down in a more achievable, digestible way. So here's all of our things: inspiration, actionable steps. I like to do this November, December. Start planning and plotting, because I do break down my steps quite a bit. Bird's eye view. Now, I don't recall this being in my previous journal, so this is really cool to see. I've seen this on some people's bullet journals, this type of date tracking, which is really interesting. So I will be putting in birthdays and whatnot, holidays. And then what I'm seeing here is we can see when the sun enters a new sign. April 19th, we enter Taurus. Okay. At the beginning of every month, we get this beautiful cover art. We get a little blurb on the month in general. It will tell us specific moon phases, a theme. So that is like an astrological theme. And then the transits that are happening within this month. And then what's really cool is we have our month overview. And then each date will have these more major aspects. So we can see that the sun is trining Uranus, for example. And then the more you learn about it, you can see how these relationships may or may not be making a difference in your day-to-day. For me, this is a really helpful way of applying astrology in my day-to-day. That is blurry. There we go. So we make our monthly goals, our intentions. You break it down week by week, and then it has some journaling space, and it will have space for your full and new moon journaling. So your intentions, your planning, and then letting go over here. Let's see what we have. Absolutely gorgeous. This year, I'm going to put some alarms on my phone so I can sit with my planner in the morning and then in the evening to kind of prepare for the next day. In the back, so our end of year review. Revisit your 5 most important intentions and reflect on all that has unfolded. This is an ephemeris, and so this just tells us what is happening in the sky month by month by the dates and the planets that are moving around here. So we've got, and this is all in GST time, so we've got the sun, the moon, Mercury, so on and so forth for all the months. And then space for extra notes. We've got an illustration guide, and it tells us about the individual pieces of each piece of work and the associations with it. It's got some extra information here. You can follow them on social media. Be careful on their website. Everything is so pretty. And then the back has a little folder here. Wow, it is so pretty. Last year it was white, and that was really pretty too, but it is really stunning against the black. So that is the Magic of I journal for 2024. If you are astrologically inclined or interested, it's very, very neat. It does have some shortcuts for you on the month to month, because learning this can be pretty daunting. So when we look closer, they have these little notes, heart explosion for the 25th of January. And so without even looking at these planets, you can go back to the beginning and it will tell you what it means by heart explosion. There we go. The Optimum Times Life Guide. There is 2 ribbons, so it might be helpful to save this page if you want to be referring to it a lot. Heart spaces, deep dives, and chosen family hangouts, joy bouncing, play fighting, self-expression in all of its glory. Super pretty. So excited to get it. I kind of forgot that it was coming. And it's really exciting to get it in advance so I can start jotting some things. I wanted to thank you for joining me today while I looked at my newest addition to my journal collection. I apologize again for my voice. Hopefully the next time I sit down to film, that will be much better. I wanted to say a quick thank you to those of you who have been tuning in, to the new subscribers. It's really humbling. I have been your local art witch. Thanks again. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.